guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited because today I was able to round up a bunch of questions from everyone either on YouTube or on Instagram, and I have enough to compile into a video for a little quick Q&A. I'm super excited. This is definitely different than what I've done in the past, but depending on the reception of this video, I might do more of these in the future. So thank you again to everyone who submitted a question, and I'm super excited, so let's just get into it. All right, so the first question is going to be, what got you into running marathons, or what got you started to run marathons? And so I think with this one, I might need to do a little bit of clarification. I haven't run any marathons yet. What is happening is I've run 2 5Ks already, and I have one more in the works. I'm just waiting for them to reschedule that date. It got canceled. And then I have one marathon scheduled for early May. I think the best way to go about answering this question is going to be what got me started with running. And I have to say that back in June of this year, so maybe 4 or 5 months ago now, I just wanted to do like a quick content idea. I didn't run at all at that time. And I figured, okay, well, let me see what it would look like if I ran every day for 5 days. Is it going to change how I look physically? So for that 1 week, I ran every day. It ranged from 2 to 5 miles, maybe almost 6. And I realized during this time, not only did I actually look different, I think I looked a little slimmer, just a little more toned out. Even in 5 days, the difference was pretty cool. I'll go ahead and link that up above. And I also noticed that running for me wasn't as bad as I had always thought it was. In the beginning, I really hated running. I refused to do anything with running. If I had to do cardio, I would do maybe a Stairmaster or cycling. But after this 1 week of just running, I realized I actually kind of enjoy it once I got past the initial pain and shock of running. And so that's how I got started with running. I'm super excited to be doing that marathon in May. So I'm doing a lot of marathon training right now. So thank you for that question. I think that was a good way to clarify some things. But yeah, that's how I got started with running. All right, and question number 2, what do you eat daily? Another good question. So I'm a bit more of a routine person in the morning. I'll typically have a bowl of oatmeal with nuts and maybe some berries and raw organic honey. And I have to mention that the oats that I do eat are organic. If you're not eating organic oats for your oatmeal, then your oatmeal actually isn't giving you any sort of benefits. It does have to be organic and in the way that it was processed. So typically in terms of nuts, I'll have maybe like pecans, and then for berries, it's either raspberries or blueberries. And then for lunch, I do like having salmon. So I'll either have salmon with some rice and some sort of veggie like asparagus or broccoli, or I'll have salmon with a really big salad. And then for dinner, I have the smallest meal, which is probably going to be something like, I don't know, for example, last night I had some tacos. I had maybe 2 or 3 tacos, and that was pretty good. I want to just show like how I'm thinking is earlier in the day, I'm having a bigger meal, something that's a little more hefty, higher in carbs to get me through the day. And then for dinner, all I'm doing is just eating enough so that I don't feel hungry when I go to bed, but not enough for my body has to be digesting constantly while I'm sleeping. So eat like a king in the morning and like a pauper at night before you go to bed. Okay, and then third question, how long did it take you to lose weight? That is a pretty good question. That is something I was asked earlier when I did start losing the weight. Since I started, I weighed like 170, 172 pounds, and now I'm down to 147. It took me about 2 or 3 months to lose the initial 20 pounds. That is, I'm going to say, too fast. I shouldn't have been losing weight that fast. I'm happy that I was able to keep that weight off. Generally, doctors recommend you lose the weight at a slower pace so your body doesn't yo-yo and you can keep the weight off. But for me, it took me about 2 or 3 months to lose that initial weight, and then over the course of a year, I managed to get those extra 5 pounds off, and I'm just working on bringing my body fat percentage down now. But that was a fantastic question. Thank you for asking that. And on to the next one. Do you get a lot of guys hitting on you in the gym?
Only you.
I don't know how to go answering this. I don't want to say yes because I don't know what is considered to be a lot. Maybe like once a month I'll have like this nice guy approach me, or maybe at most like 2. But generally I would say maybe like the normal amount. I think it's normal for people to approach when you see someone who's partaking in activity or a hobby that you also have. So people who go to the gym all really enjoy going to the gym. So when you see someone doing that, you might be a little more inclined to ask someone for their number or for their information. So I would say like an average amount. I don't know what a lot is. How did you get into health and fitness? This is another really good question. I think it's kind of the main reason as to why I actually got into creating content for it too. When I was 20, before I turned 21, that's when I was weighing about 170, 172. And I'd gone to the doctors and I'd given a blood test, and my A1C hemoglobin came back. And it turns out that I was pre diabetic and I was overweight. And I'm only 5'3". So, of course, that proportion of 5'3" weighing 170 pounds, it doesn't line up. I shouldn't be weighing that much. And so it was really just a shock to me. And so I started taking the gym a lot more seriously, because at the time when I had gotten these feedback, I was genuinely shocked because I was going to the gym maybe 3, 4 times a week, but I wasn't eating properly. So it just kind of canceled out any work I was doing at the gym. When you're not eating properly, you're ruining all the hard work you did at the gym, because 70% of the battle does come from what you eat. So I got the hemoglobin test back, and of course, I was shocked. I was pre diabetic. I was like, okay, I need to take it more seriously. I'm only 20. I shouldn't be pre diabetic or be worried about having diabetes, especially here in the US when more than 50% of the population is either overweight or obese. So I started working out a lot more regularly. I was watching what I was eating. I did a lot of intermittent fasting, and lo and behold, I lost the weight. And a few months later, my A1C came down and I am no longer pre diabetic. Fantastic question, though. Okay, next one. Are you single? And if not, how do you maintain the relationship when you gym so much? So, in terms of my relationship status, I do think that's something I'm going to keep private for the time being. I appreciate the question, but I'm going to go and move on to the second part. How would I maintain such a relationship because I go to the gym so much? I think that's something that you have to figure out when you're looking at a potential partner. For me, it's always important that I share similar hobbies to the person I'm looking to date or to potentially, spend the rest of my life with. So I would want to be with somebody who enjoys going to the gym so I can go with them. Or if we are on different time schedules, we understand, okay, I'm at the gym, so maybe I can't reply, or maybe he's at the gym, so he can't reply. So just having things like that and being able to understand. But of course, with my schedule, I do wake up earlier than a lot of other people. Usually, I'm at the gym by 6:30, at the latest 7. So by the time I'm done, it's like I have the rest of my day, and I don't really have to worry about it. So that's how I am able to maintain any sort of relationship that I may have or will have, and without any sort of worries. So that's, I think, something that's key for a lot of people if you are trying to think about how you can maintain a relationship while going to the gym. I think it's just being able to find common hobbies. Like if you go to the gym a lot, find someone who goes to the gym, or if you enjoy running, find someone else who enjoys running so you can do it together. I think that's a great way to grow the relationship as well. What is one core workout you feel is absolutely useless? Oh, that's a tough one, because I feel like it varies person to person. There are certain workouts that when I do them, I don't really feel it, whereas for other people, they might actually really feel it. So I can't think of any off the top of my head. I can give an example. I don't think it's useless. I think just for me personally, I have to do more reps in order for me to feel it. And then at that point, I feel like it just becomes a compound workout as opposed to an isolation workout. But when I do leg raises, I think it takes me like 30 reps before I actually feel any sort of stress on my core. And I've talked to a couple of, personal trainers who have been in the game for a while, and I think it's just because I used to be a dancer, so I had a strong core that was established before I got into weightlifting and strength training. And so with that strong core, it might just take longer for my core to get tired when I do something like leg raises, which is why I like doing deep core workouts. So maybe like a high plank with a dumbbell pull through, that works a lot better for me than for others. Maybe someone does better with the leg raises as opposed to the high plank. So I think it just varies person to person. I don't think any single one of them is absolutely useless unless it's like something absolutely ridiculous. You're doing so many different things and it's not even targeting the core. Then I think that could be like debated. But I don't think any specific workout is absolutely useless. On to the next one. You have such beautiful hair. Could you share your hair care routine? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate the compliment with my hair. It's taken me a while to grow it out. It's like down past my waist at this point. I think my hair could be healthier, but I will, of course, share my routine with you. I know it's not good for you to wash your hair too many times a week. So I generally try to keep my full body hair wash days down to 2 days a week so that my hair oils can actually be replenished and not constantly be stripped. And then I would say the night before I plan to wash my hair, what I do is I douse the tips of my hair in coconut oil and I use a protective hairstyle like a braid and I sleep with that. And then in the morning after the gym, I'll wash my hair. And so that oil helps keep my hair hydrated and strong. That's kind of all I really do. I know that there are a lot of products out there and other things you could do for healthier hair, but that's kind of where I'm at just to maintain my current hair type. Yeah. And of course, this varies depending on hair type. My sister has really curly hair that's like 2, 3 times thicker than mine, and her hair care routine is very different. So mine is, I would definitely have to say, lower maintenance. Next question. How do you make your legs look like that? Heavy squats and hip thrusts. That's essentially what it is. When I first started working out, my legs weren't nearly as toned, and now they are quite toned, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. I'm very excited to see where I'll be in another year because I look at progress photos from a year ago and now 2 years ago, and just the difference is shocking. So it's honestly just consistency and hard work and keep moving forward, just knowing that, okay, that's where I was, this is where I am now, where am I going to be in the future? So it's just a lot of consistency and hard work. And of course, eating properly. Can you do 15 sets of 20 push ups? If I'm being honest, I don't think I can. 15 sets sounds quite a lot, and then already for me, with one good set, if I'm really just pushing for endurance with push ups, I could probably do 10 solid push ups before like falling over. If you're saying that if I could go down to my knees and do a modified push up, then probably yes, I could do 15 sets of 20. But if we're talking solid conventional push ups, I don't think I can. I'm not quite at that threshold yet. But I'll definitely work on it. Once I hit the 15 sets of 20 push ups, I'll definitely make a post and announce it for you. Don't worry. Okay. What to eat before a long run? This is a really good question because it's really important to fuel your body properly before you go for any sort of endurance training. Before I got into training and before I started doing the long run specifically, I did Google this and I did look at multiple blogs where people talk about the best things to eat before going for such a run. And I would think it has to come down to bananas, smoothies, and oatmeal. Something that's higher carb, but it's easy for your body to break down and take in the energy. So I personally like to do an oatmeal, a smaller size oatmeal with bananas on top and a little bit of honey. That's more fast acting carbs and it can help me with the endurance of my long run. I do have to eat this a little bit before I actually go on the run because my stomach is not quite rock hard. If I eat and then go for a run immediately after, I might get like a stomach ache and then end up walking the rest of my run. So that's what I would recommend before a long run. Really focus on those quick acting carbs. And finally, the last question. Hey Nadia, can we get a grocery haul to see some of your staples or your favorite products? Yeah, that's definitely not a problem. I can actually go through and make a little short and post that maybe sometime later this week. But as of right now, some of my favorite products is going to have to be a lot of fruits and veggies. Definitely focus on eating the rainbow. So think about bell peppers, and then the for greens, think of leafy greens like kale and lettuce and romaine. And then you also want to maybe get some carrots. So just try and eat the rainbow. I really like to focus on organic and grass-fed meats if I'm going to go for meats. And essentially, it is honestly a lot of fresh produce. I think if I had to pick a guilty pleasure, Trader Joe's has these really great ABC bars, which is almond butter chocolate bars, and they're not like super healthy. They're not like the best thing, but they're also not bad. I haven't gotten them in a while just because I'm trying to stay away from more processed foods. I'm trying to focus more on whole foods. But if I have to say something that's my favorite thing to indulge on, it's going to have to be that. And my really close friend Yasmin is the one who put me on them. So I have Yasmin to thank for this new addiction. But yeah, I think that concludes the end of the Q&A. It was really fun for me to do. I enjoyed seeing all these questions. If you do have questions, don't be afraid to reach out. You can either leave comments on my YouTube videos, ask me something on the community page on YouTube, or if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I'll link that below as well. And I'll do my best to reach back out to anyone who does have questions for me, either personal questions or advice, tips, items like that. But this was a lot of fun, and I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Thank you.